Welcome to Pinellas County Schools TV here on Channel 14 and YouTube. My name is Eric Keaton. Our team has great news. Thanks to Spectrum, we have received hundreds of videos featuring Pinellas County Athletic events dating back to the 1980s and 90s. They are classic high school football, basketball, baseball games, and more, showcasing some of Pinellas County's greatest alumni and contests. Visit our website to see what games will be on the schedule, and we will ask for the community's input on social media to find out which game you would like to see. So tune in, subscribe to PCS TV on YouTube, and we'll see you on the classic Game of the Week.
It was 1 year ago, the Panthers and the Cougars met in the mud. Countryside gave Plant their toughest postseason competition. But in the end, Robert Weiner and the Panthers took one more step to their third state championship. Tonight, that memory is fresh on the minds of both teams as the best in Pinellas battles the dynasty of Hillsboro. It's Countryside and Plant, a regional final, next on Bright House Sports Network. Dad Stadium in South Tampa, the place to be tonight for a 5A regional final. The Cougars in town to take on the Panthers on the Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week. Good evening, everyone. Great to have you with us alongside Jeff Carlson. I'm Drew Felios. What makes this such a great matchup tonight? Well, several reasons. It's Pinellas versus Hillsboro. It's a state contender in Countryside trying to take down a state champion in Plant. And Jeff, the talent on this field tonight here is second to none.
Oh, no doubt about that. This thing here tonight, Tyler Moore for Countryside, the big tackle, or James Wilder Jr., they both had a lot of TV time, a lot of talk. For one of them, it's going to be their last night on the football field in high school football.
Jeff, Countryside comes in here with visions of December 4th, 2009, burning in their heads. We will never forget that night. A monsoon at Countryside High School. We didn't know if we were going to play. We eventually did. Alton Taylor scores the touchdown. Countryside controlled the game for the second and third quarter, but Plant was able to come out on top in the end.
A game I really didn't know that would be played, except that it was a playoff game that had to be played. Unfair for both teams, and Countryside felt like the best team didn't win that night, and they come back tonight ready to go.
Yeah, Plant able to force the turnovers. James Wilder in the fourth quarter, a major factor. Elation on the Plant side and complete dejection on the Countryside side. Countryside has relived that moment several times this week, using it as motivation. And if they're going to win here tonight, they got to use that same advantage, Jeff. They are huge along the offensive line.
They certainly are, and that's what they've been doing for a number of years, especially last year and this year. They move everybody out of the way. They run for 236 yards a game. That's great stuff. They've got guys on both sides that are big and can move around, but Plant can counter that, and they've got to do that, though, with Deami Roberts. He's the guy that's been following them and then outrunning those guys to the end zone. 16 touchdowns on the year, over 1,200 yards on the ground. He has to have the night tonight because, don't forget, the Plant coaching staff, they know they can run the ball, so they're going to stop that and put it in the hands of the quarterback.
Now, as for the Panthers, Jeff, we saw a little over a month ago when Plant took on Armwood, and Armwood took them to the woodshed. Plant was not in sync offensively, especially throwing the football, but Antonio Crawford and Austin Akins, these two wide receivers, have really stepped up their game.
And they need them to. If Plant wants to go all the way, these two guys right here have to step up. They're both juniors. They're going to be back next year, but they have to be the ones to do it because obviously James Wilder Jr., number 32, is going to get the ball in all kinds of different situations. He's also going to have to play big on defense. I really think that's the key, to not wear him out tonight on offense and let him go after the quarterback on defense. But it's those two receivers that have to play big for Philip Ely tonight.
You know, Jeff, it always seems that when Plant is playing well, somebody in the secondary is shining, whether it's Chris Cousdale or Eric Dungy. Right now, it's Drew Madhew.
Well, the thing is, the safety position has been thin all year long with injury. He has been injured. He's coming back. We didn't know if he was going to play this week. We're going to see if he has to get tested because of Gray Crow. If they go to the air, is he going to be able to stand up to it? I'm sure he will. He's a great player. Did amazing things just last week.
Countryside is undefeated. They come in here at 12-0, but they have a chance tonight to prove to Bay Area football fans that they are, in fact, truly a state title contender, the Cougars and the Panthers, next on Bright House Sports Network. Countryside and Plant on the Bright House Sports Network. Game of the week. It's playoff football time, and we are underway as Scott Greason fields it from inside the 15, and Greason hurdles one tackler and gets it to the 31 before he is cut down there by DJ Dixon. And the Plant offense, Philip Ely at quarterback with James Wilder, a star-studded crew. Daniel Caselli playing well. Antonio Crawford with Scott Greason. Austin Akins, the Tampa Catholic transfer we talked about in the open. And then the big boys up front. Tony Posada, committed to the University of Michigan. One of the key players. He's the right tackle, number 75. Lined up right now. So Ely from the shotgun throws, and it's caught. Antonio Crawford makes the catch. It's a pickup of 6 up to the 37-yard line.
The last couple years as Philip has run this football team, they really depended a little bit more on James Wilder than they had in the past with Robert Marv and Aaron Murray. But they start off with 3 wide receivers, 2 backs, and let him air it out. He should have a big night tonight.
Well, second down and a little more than 3. A running back takes off. Calvin Mann along the right side. A flag is down, though, at the 35, and this one looks like it is going to be coming back.
That one came out early and probably even a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage, so look for about a 12-yard penalty on that.
They say it was Davis Marvel on the infraction, but this guy right here, Calvin Mann, probably somebody that Countryside is not going to game plan as much for as they are James Wilder, but I guarantee you Calvin Mann is going to be a factor in this game tonight at some point.
Drew, I think he should be a major factor. Of course, James Wilder's the running back that's going to Florida State, the top recruit in the nation, whatever he might be. But I think he can do good things on offense and defense, and even more specifically tonight on defense. He needs to be able to stop that run, help stop that run, and then get pressure on the quarterback, and they can use man in the backfield.
So 2nd and 15, and here's Wilder. James Wilder, left side, nice run. Wilder dancing along the sidelines, gets it to the 47-yard line. A first down run for number 32.
You gotta like when this guy who can run over anybody doesn't even have to be touched by anybody for 10, 15 yards as he goes down the field, picks up the first down of the first down of the game, and you know he won't go down easy, but he didn't even get touched. So those are good signs for Plant on that first couple of plays.
James Wilder committed to Florida State University. Now on first down and 10. Ely throws, it's caught by Crawford. Antonio Crawford picks up 8. And he's down to the 45-yard line. We'll take a look at that Countryside defense. Troy Olmo at defensive end with Primrose up front and Kevin Kitchen. Both of those 2 tackles very feisty. Holston, the other defensive end, and the linebackers. Vincent Terry Johnson is a player with Matt Rayner. And the secondary, Denzel Thompson, getting a lot of college interest. Schmelik, Serpo, and Alex Dixon, who just committed to North Carolina. Wilder is going to be gang tackled in the backfield, and this is going to be a loss of 4 back to midfield.
Nice job by Countryside, getting good pressure all the way. They strung it out from the very beginning. Watch Wilder come to the side. They've got 3 guys out in front of him, and then 2 or 3 more coming from behind. So he had nowhere to go no matter which way he turned. 3rd and 7. Let's see the situation in the defense that Countryside puts up, because they have the secondary to match up with the receivers of Plant. That's really a big matchup tonight.
So it's 3rd down and call it 7. Got to get to the 43 for a first down. The catch is made by Daniel Caselli, and Caselli adds a first down catch for the Panthers.
They went man-to-man, brought the safety Schmelik up on the right side. He faked a blitz and went off and took the running back off to the side. Here's something, Drew, that I do not think any team is going to be successful against Plant with, and that is with Philip as the quarterback. You've got 4 wide receivers across the board in man-to-man coverage. One of those 4 guys is going to beat his man, and Philip Ely will find him.
Philip Ely got a special visit last night from Nick Saban, his future head coach at Alabama. Saban was waiting for him in the field house as Ely trotted off the field. Now they go back down to the ground, and Wilder pounds it to the 36-yard line. That's a 4-yard pickup. Can you imagine coming off the field in one of your high school practices and Nick Saban is there waiting to say hello and take some pictures?
Well,
with
it
your
is
family,
it
Jeff?
is the Christmas season. You
Wow.
know, you get cool gifts like that this month, but something special. I spoke with Bruce Ely, Philip's dad, before the game, and that's the first time that he met him, and how impressed he was with him, and also Alabama's offensive coordinator that is here with them as well.
2nd and 6, pitch, Wilder, a full head of steam, and James Wilder inside the 20, down to the 16.
That's one of those highlights where, why don't you just run to the outside where nobody is, not James Wilder. He'll always take it to the middle and find somebody to run into. Great move, great blocking outside. I think that was Posada out there kicking out 2 or 3 guys all by himself. Stay outside, run for the end zone. He goes inside and gets a nice pickup.
He was eventually stopped by Alex Dixon. Wilder looking good in this first drive for the Panthers. So 1st down and 10 from the 17, and they pound it with Wilder to the 10 and down at the 8. He was the difference in that Robinson game, Jeff, and clearly he is going to be the key again tonight.
I mean, he's so great. He's the difference in pretty much every game he plays in. He's kind of like a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant. You know, you try to play them out at their 3-point range, and they go around you and dunk on you. You back up so they can't do that, and they shoot the 3-pointer on you. You can't win for losing against a guy like this. We'll see if Countryside can step it up and start playing a little bit tougher defense. Right now, every play is a big play.
2nd down and 1. They hand it to Mann. Calvin Mann puts his head down. A shifty Calvin Mann with an impressive run down to the 2-yard line. He has been fighting for playing time all season long, Jeff, and we didn't see much of him in that Armwood game or against Robinson, but you know, just like plant teams of the past, as the season goes along, new stars emerge.
Well, James Wilder has had a couple of nicks and bruises as his style of running is always going to create. So you're going to get some, but not as much as you like. Hard to play again behind a guy like number 32 who just put it in the end zone.
That is as easy as it gets. Touchdown Plant. Right up the gut with James Wilder.
Yeah, that was way too easy. I'm sure Coach Davis wasn't expecting that to be their first drive, but a lot of teams, you know what, they don't come out with the intensity they need and then they settle down later, but certainly not what Countryside expected.
So the Panthers have taken a 6-0 lead. And now, time for the extra point. Grant Van Amen to do the honors. A picture-perfect start for these Plant Panthers. They march right down the field. James Wilder, who made his college announcement right here on Bright House Sports Network back in August, leading the charge.
Barely broke a sweat. That was way too easy for Plant. Way too easy.
Well, tonight, the 3rd member of our crew. We are proud to have her once again, former 3-time gold medalist. Welcome, Brooke Bennett.
Drew, thanks. It's great to be here. And I know you were talking a lot about Philip Ely and, of course, that special guest he had at practice last night. A lot of talk at the beginning of the season, though, for Ely was he wasn't quite in his groove. He was having to work with a Coach Meter said
we'll get back to Brooke in just a minute. You take a look at Jared Davis, Countryside head coach, Robert Weiner for the Panthers. Coach Weiner calm as ever this week, as everyone possibly anticipates what could be a rematch in the 5A state semifinals between the Panthers and the Lakeland Dreadnoughts. But business at hand first. Countryside is here to win, but Plant very easy on that drive, Jeff. 10 plays, 69 yards.
That's textbook. They did everything right. They ran well, blocked well. They overcame the penalty and got the first down pickup on that third down. We'll see Countryside decided to go man-to-man across the board, and they weren't up to it. So they're going to have to see if they go to zone or if they're going to have to bring guys up all the time to stop that run.
Van Amen puts it in the air. And Joey Lombardi loses the football. And the Panthers look like they have it. A flag is down at the 30. Celebrating Drew Madhew, and let's see where the call is.
And the referee that threw the flag was right on the Plant sideline and far away from the play, so it has not much to do with the play, I don't think.
Got sideline warning. Sideline warning on the home team. First down.
We'll take the sideline warning after a change of play like that. You get the ball back, and we've seen many times. Here comes Nick Sanders, the senior quarterback, in to start this second drive of the game.
Yeah, right now Philip Ely is on the sidelines getting treatment. We'll continue to keep you updated on that situation, but it is the backup's turn right now. Nick Sanders, number 13, senior quarterback, 6'1", 185 pounds, and there's the numbers. He is an impressive looking player in practice and in warm-ups, but now we finally get to see him in live action. He'll hand off on first down to Wilder, and a nice tackle made by Adam Vincent, the linebacker.
I know Coach Weiner has confidence in Sanders to throw the ball, but in this situation when it's going so easy, you probably might not get too many opportunities when you see 32 running and there's nowhere near touching him.
Yeah,
look at all the space.
In that first drive was James Wilder. A 2-yard pickup on the last play, second down and 8. And Wesley Bullock, the sophomore running back, is checked into the game. Right now they give it to him. Bullock can make it happen as well. He takes a shot at the 10-yard line, and that is what Countryside needs to do. Matt Rayner, the senior linebacker, unloads a hard hit.
Well, they got to do that. They turned the ball over on their second series, gave up the easy touchdown on the first series, so they've got to bring something right now and set a tone.
Yeah, Rayner, Jeff, was the guy who took over for Josh Pendergast. Remember the player that was injured during that Tarpon Springs game?
Yeah, that was a scary moment, boy. Glad to hear he is okay.
Third down and 6. 7-0 lead for Plant. Looking for more. Sanders trying to get to the outside. Now throws, and too high. Was looking for Scott Greason, but shot it incomplete.
That looked like a play that they've run in 7-on-7 in the spring, in the summer, all the time. Just barely missed it to the outside.
So that'll bring up a fourth down and Plant. Now we'll look for a field goal. Grant Van Amen, a junior kicker. This Countryside team, well, they had to hold Plant to 3 points, or at least a 3-point attempt, as Van Amen now tees it up from the left hash, and he hooked it. No good. So Plant does not capitalize on a golden opportunity, and when we come back, Countryside will go to work. 7-0, just underway at Dad Stadium. Back on the game of the week, Drew Felios, Jeff Carlson, and Brooke Bennett. A check on Philip Ely. He was actually cramping after that first drive, so he did get some treatment, got some fluids in him. We are expected to see Ely back for the rest of this first half. Let's go to some storylines now. These Cougars, massive along the offensive line. We told you that in the open. Their secondary also outstanding, with Alex Dixon leading the way and seeking redemption. Jarrett Davis telling us Countryside feels like they were better last year in that Mud Bowl, even though they came up short. And they want to prove that they are the better program here tonight, at least in 2010, but they got to hang on to the football, Jeff. You cannot turn it over in this type of an environment.
This is big time football. You gotta do everything right.
So first down for LD Crow and the Cougars. Deami Roberts takes a major shot on the first play from scrimmage as Michael Dvornik make that Mike Tate. Number 57 comes up to make the hit.
Well, the Plant Panthers are going to do everything in their power to turn this ball into an aerial game for Countryside. They know that they can run, they can control the clock that way, and they want the ball in the air and let their own secondary guys maybe sniff out an interception or two.
So call it a loss of 1 and 2nd down and 11. LD Crow, Gray Crow rather, throws it right side. And it's a short pickup. I'm thinking back the Countryside teams of 2006. Gray Crow, little brother of LD Crow. LD now at UCF with Deami Roberts, Ryan Yates, Mario Taylor. The wideouts, Nico Morgado also. AJ Sattinger and Big Tyler Moore, head of the University of Nebraska. Johnson is the center. Connor Brown at right guard. And Tyler Pearson, often overshadowed, but he can bring it as well. 3rd down and 8 for Gray Crow. And Crow throws it right to the Panthers. Let's see, did he hang on? Drew Madhew made the catch, but they say it hit the carpet. And it is incomplete.
I need this one in slow motion. I thought he caught it, and the way he came up, though, looked like he didn't. But watch, I think he catches this. The way he came up behind his arm, this is a much better angle coming up here. Now, I thought he caught it. See how it's on the backside of his arm? That's a catch. I thought he caught it all the way. But the way he did it made it look awkward.
So a shaky start for Gray Crow. And now the Cougars will punt it. Ryan Halter puts it in the air. And well played on special teams as Alex Dixon makes the stop on Derek Mann. And Jeff, let's size up these two programs. Countryside and Plan after the Cougars go 3 and out. When you look at points scored, Countryside scoring more, also allowing less. But I'll tell you what, strength of schedule, I got to give that advantage to the Plant Panthers.
No doubt about that. They saw a couple of pretty darn good teams this year.
Of course, Plan had to play Abilene, Texas, and Armwood. Those are the 2 losses. Still Nick Sanders in the game for the Panthers. Now he's under pressure, and Countryside gets to him. He's sandwiched at the 45 as a host of Cougars were there. The first one, John Primrose, big number 72.
Well, the 2 opportunities to throw the ball for Nick Sanders have been rollouts to the right. This time, you see Terry Johnson get up and under, and you also saw Mike Love stop him from it and turn him back inside. So they did a nice job getting some early pressure on him. You know, I took go back to the last time we saw Countryside, it was against Tarpon Springs, and Terry Johnson, their middle linebacker, was the guy that stood out to me. He did it on offense and on defense. He's a big-time playmaker and helped set up that sack there.
So Sanders on 2nd down out of the shotgun. They go to the money man. Wilder breaks it to the outside. James Wilder inside the 40 and close to a 1st down.
And just as I say that, Terry Johnson gets outstretched arms, miss him as you watch him turn back here, dive for him. But you know what he does so well, Wilder that is keeps his hips away from the defender as he gets a good stiff arm. He normally does that, but he keeps his hips away, and that's why his legs stay free so often.
Jeff will say this, out of all the games we've seen James Wilder, tonight he has looked the most like a natural running back. I don't know if the way he's making his cuts, I think he is running the best, the most instinctively tonight that we have ever seen in the games that we've done.
Well, it's been easy, and I say that facetiously. It's not easy, right? But it's looked easy. He's had a lot of space so far, and his legs look fresh. He does. He looks fresher, faster tonight than we've seen him. He always looks good. I'm not saying anything like that, but he looks fresh early in this first quarter. And as I said, I thought that the key tonight would be him playing on defense really well and staying fresh by not playing as much on offense, but he's going well so far. They just haven't been able to get enough hats to the ball because you have to get 2 and 3 and 4, sometimes 11 hats to the ball to get that guy to the ground.
Well, it looks like this is going to be just shy of a 1st down. And Jeff, we talked about strength of schedule of these 2 teams. Look at the opponent's win-loss percentage, and there you get an idea of the competition that Plan has played. They've played 7 teams in our Bright House Sports Network poll, 3 nationally ranked opponents. Countryside, the Cougars have had some tough games with teams like Tampa Bay Tech and Brandon in the postseason, but still not the juggernauts week after week that Plant has had to match up with. If Sanders sneaks it forward, and it looks like Plant is going to pick up the first down.
Yeah, he got that now. The interesting thing is Philip Ely on the sideline with cramping in the first quarter of a game that's cool outside, of what exactly is happening right there. And now Nick Sanders. Nick Sanders is a guy I've known since he was a young man. Both Philip and Nick I've worked with on quarterback training since they were young men. And, well, they're still young men, I guess, young boys even. And Nick is a very good player, heady player, and has really come a long way in a few years and getting a really great opportunity right here.
So on first down and 10, Sanders will pitch it. It's Bullock. Wesley Bullock back to the line of scrimmage before he stopped there. You mentioned a heady player Nick Sanders is. Heady is an understatement. Nick Sanders, Jeff, a 1,500, or at least very close to that, on his SAT, and he is best friends with Philip Ely, although they've had to have most of the spotlight, of course, go to Ely because Sanders is the backup still. They are as close as can be.
That's a great, healthy competition. You see Philip Ely talking with his father, Bruce, right now about what's going on. So obviously something is not right for him not to be, looking in on the game right now.
The ball's on the ground and Countryside recovers. There you see we're having the backup quarterback in the game. A slight miscommunication there between Wilder and Sanders, and with the recovery is James Holston.
Let's take a look. Looked clean. That goes really. You just say it was a running back on that particular one because he gave him a good spot to put the ball in. It looked like it was there. Just not clamping down on it on time. But as you said, when it's not the guy that always hands it to you, those types of things can happen, and you just have to be more careful by both quarterback and running back.
So Greg Crow on first down from the 40. Roberts on the carry, runs into a wall of Panthers. What is the deal with Philip Ely? Let's send it down to Brooke Bennett. Brooke, what have you found out?
Well, Drew, like I said, we originally kind of thought maybe it was cramping. He had come onto the sideline, sitting down. He's now walking, kind of pacing up and down, talking to a few people on the sidelines. It's in his back, whether it's a strained or a pulled muscle. Ely actually kind of mentioned to me it was his back that was bothering him. So still the word is, is he going to get back in the game? We don't know that yet.
Wow. And obviously discussing it right now on the sidelines. Right now the Plant defense is taking over, though. Antonio Crawford uncontested there to bust up this play.
Bringing quickness from the outsides and also some toughness and some size inside. But this time it's Crawford from the outside. Remember, we talk about him on offense most of the time, but they brought James Wilder Jr. from the opposite side, Crawford from the other side, and man, you better get rid of that ball quick, and you better have a hole to go through, or they're going to snag you in the backfield. And so far, they've done that twice. 3rd and 15 coming up.
And so far, Roberts 3 carries, -6 yards for Countryside, unable to establish their bread and butter. Now it's in the hands of Greg Crow, and he'll go downfield. Lombardi is out there, but he was covered well. Joey Lombardi wanted a flag, but running with him stride for stride was Spencer Matthews, the linebacker.
If I was him, I would want a pass interference as well. He never turns around and he actually grabs his arm. That's called pass interference at the little league level, high school level, college pro. That's pass interference, and he has something to crow about, let's say. Pretty good pun there. All right, I'm the only one left. Fine.
4th down and 15. Always got something, don't you, Jeff?
I'll tell you what, Mann has been taking some risks with catching those punts, but he's at least held on to them twice.
Derek Mann, short return, and Robert Wiener. 3 state championships here he has delivered over the last 4 years to this Plant program. 7th season, and really this program has been an institution. His alma mater, Jesuit High School, had the head coaching job open last offseason. A lot of people thought that eventually that's where Wiener would end up long term, but he said no. That's something too special brewing in South Tampa, and he's got a great staff with him. You talk about TJ Lane and Sean Love and John Few and Matt Johnson, the coordinators. Mo Harris, running backs coach. This plant program, there's something else. And so is James Wilder, but Countryside waiting for him that time as Holston got him by the leg, and the rest of the pack of Cougars finished him off.
Well, here's the Plant Panthers. They got started off so great. And here, we're at the end of the quarter. We'll come back with a thought here, Drew.
End of the first, 7-0 Plant, and back after this. A jam-packed Dad Stadium side of the 5A Region 2 Championship. Countryside and Plant, it's been 1 year and 1 day since these programs last met.
Drew, before we went to break, I just wanted to say what Plant needs to do is get back to the basics. What Countryside's doing is basically playing man across the board. They're playing off coverage, but let Nick Sanders throw some slants or a flat or a fade route straight ahead. Don't make him do anything spectacular like this. Those are tough things to do right there.
Wilder makes the catch, and James Wilder shows the hands and the yards after the catch. Down to the 44-yard line.
I'll tell you what, he made the play and got a good first down pickup, but this is not easy. A right-handed quarterback to lift the ball back up over and throw that, you can see how awkward it was. I don't like it. You let him throw some easy throws, straight standard throws that he's made a million times throughout the summer, throughout the spring, and get him uncorked, because Countryside's going to tee off on the running game no matter who it is back there until Nick Sanders establishes some passes.
So a first down from the 43 after a 23-yard pickup on the reception by Wilder. Now they hand it to him. And this time he's stacked up. He ran right into Kevin Kitchen, a senior defensive lineman. Boy, Wilder, there are some collisions down on that field tonight. You can tell, Jeff, these Countryside players, they have circled 32 all week long, accepting the challenge, knowing that they're playing one of the top offensive players in the country.
You know that every team that's played against number 32 circles number 32 each week, and there's just not much you can do about it. That guy leads the country in runs and never gets tackled. Although I did see a Barry Sanders Jr. Highlight video, and he rarely gets tackled because he ends every run in the end zone, at least it seemed like it. But James Wilder, he doesn't get tackled very often, doesn't go to the ground. He had 18 guys on him just now, didn't go to the ground.
2nd and 8. It's Mann. Calvin Mann straight ahead. Boy, he is a nice change of pace in this Plant offense. Coach Wiener told us that, we mentioned how he has been waiting for snaps. There's only so many footballs to go around when you got James Wilder and then you got Philip Ely and a passing offense that Plant has, but it is role players like Calvin Mann that have made this Plant program what it is in the past. You always can have the mega stars, Jeff, but the role players huge down the stretch.
You got to have them. It doesn't matter, like in basketball when Kobe Bryant's got Paul Gasol or some other role player. You got to have those guys that really take you to the championship besides the stars.
Now Sanders hands off to Bullock. Countryside able to stop him, and I don't know
Went backwards, Drew.
if this is going to be a first down as Adam Vincent, once again, the junior linebacker, came up to make the stick.
I didn't like the mark, but I didn't think he made it. But they actually gave him a yard loss. Watch where the mark comes. He's inside there, and they go. Yeah, it's all the way back to the line, almost back to the line. So gave him a half-yard loss on that run.
And there you see Matt Rayner, who's done a great job at linebacker. Now a 4th down for Plant. They go to Wilder. And he stretches out. This is going to be awfully close and just depend on the spot.
He's a half a football short at least. Maybe a full football, Drew.
Mark it at the 41. And I think you're right.
Yeah,
From
he's
up
going
here,
the other
looks
way. Short. They're just gonna waste their time measuring this. This is a football short. They got a good push right there. Nice job. Who is that? Terry Johnson. We talked about him being the guy. He's the middle linebacker. He's that Ray Lewis that has to be there all night tonight to give Countryside a chance. And after that first drive, Drew, this team, look at those guys on the sideline. They have really stood up strong since then.
So this is going to be short. A first down for Countryside and Jared Davis's team will now take over. Davis just 27 years old. He's a Countryside grad. He was a grad assistant at USF under Wally Burnham. And get this, his mother is a Plant High School graduate. His grandfather, Angus Williams, coached at Plant back in the 1950s. But Jared Davis, with all his football background, has never been to Dad Stadium. He is getting a big dose here tonight.
Great atmosphere here at Dad Stadium always, especially tonight. Now, on the same side, they're going to have to make things easy for Gray Crow and get rid of the ball quickly before he gets hit.
Crow gets it away, and it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. This Plant defense flying around the football. So far to start this game, Nathan Schnitzline, Bobby Richardson, big defensive tackle, Zinkoski, and Michael Dvornik, the defensive end. Mike Tate, Spencer Matthews, the linebackers with Matthew Suarez, the most experienced of those linebackers. Antonio Crawford, Greason, Drew Madhew, we talked about in the open, and Eric Patterson, a major Division I prospect. A nice looking defensive back. So Gray Crow will take it himself and be met before he even got back to the line of scrimmage, as Mike Tate put his head down and said, "You ain't going nowhere."
Wow, 180 pounds comes through Gray Crow. This was a designed quarterback draw. Watch it, take a look, I'm going. But no way, 180 pounds pushes the big quarterback backwards and brings up a big third down situation.
So Jeff, as Mike Tate lowers the boom, what is Gray Crow thinking right now, being in this environment? The junior has never seen a defense as fast as this or an environment like this.
No, it's tough right now. He knows he's got to get rid of the balls quick or else they're going to be in trouble on every throw.
Crow throws. This one's caught. And a nice play set up by the Cougars. He's going to pick up 10 yards, but looks to be a little bit shy as Jordan Rossi had a nice run, but they'll mark it at the 42-yard line, 2 yards shy of a first down.
Yeah, full 2 yards short, and that was a great play call. Get rid of the ball quick, throw the screen, and they did pick up the first down, 2 yards short, but definitely getting them back going and a positive play, even though they got to punt the ball away.
So on a fourth down, more than 3. Ryan Halter to kick it away. Derek Mann waiting for it, and he takes it up to the 37-yard line. That's where the Panthers will start. And Brooke Bennett has more on Countryside head coach Jared Davis. Brooke.
Well, Drew, you talking about his mom being a graduate from here. This is the first time that Davis has been at Dad Stadium. He told me before the game he's been at Penn State where they throw snowballs at you. He said, so this is nothing. They're ready to play. But Davis came into the season. He says, you got to take a season as 15 games. If you don't, you cut yourself short, and then you just start inching away at it. So they're doing a great drive. Like you said, 12-0. First time in school history that they're undefeated. Keep inching away at 15-game season.
Jared Davis spent last season at Gibbs High School as an assistant coach under Donnie Abraham, a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Now he slings it out, incomplete. Antonio Crawford couldn't make the catch. Nick Sanders is still the quarterback for Plant, and so far, Jeff, Sanders hasn't really been able to establish any kind of a rhythm.
No, they've thrown a lot of different style of plays out, and I was just taking a look on the opposite side of the field. Daniel Caselli's over there with big Denzel Thompson. He's 6'3", 375 pounds, and tough to go against. But I think when they go 3 receivers to 1 and just 1 to the top, you got to pick that. And the way the defense is, they brought everybody over here, the safety as well. So it's one-on-one with the receiver. You got to be able to win that. And Plant practices so many air plays and 7-on-7s and everything else that you got to be able to beat that one-on-one coverage.
Antonio Crawford in motion. They hand it straight ahead to Wilder. I'll tell you what, this Countryside defense has tightened up since the first drive as James Holston now along the defensive front makes the stop.
And they've shown a lot of looks. Plant, that is. They've shown a lot of different, they bring a lot of different personnel in. They do a lot of things. That time they brought Antonio Crawford in motion behind. Now go back. Hey, we saw them play Robinson just a few weeks ago in that battle of South Tampa, and they ran that motion, I think it was 3 times in a row or 3 times in a very short period of time, and then they brought the reverse and made a big play out of it. So look for that later in the game.
3rd down, call it 9. Sanders with time, Allen Lowe's, and this one is incomplete. Good coverage out there. Denzel Thompson was like a center fielder, just kind of waiting for the ball. He was in perfect position.
Yeah, he really was. That's the big guy I was just talking about. And at 6'3", he can stand back there and cover a lot of ground. But this one was thrown up. They warm up with this kind of route, the seam route. Warm up with it, throw it a million times. But Thompson was back there waiting for it.
So Grant Van Amen on the punt. Both of these defenses have really settled in. Now a flag will come down. This one looks like it's going to be on the Cougars.
Dead ball, legal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty remains for 4th down.
Boy, Drew, how easy that first drive was, and then they fumbled the ball. Countryside just couldn't have started off worse, but they certainly settled in, and now they've really got a beat on the running game. And Nick Sanders, as the backup quarterback, is going to have to really make some plays.
So Van Amen to kick it away. High kick. Fielded at the 24. Nico Morgado may have lost it again. Let's see. It will stay with Countryside. So when we come back, the Cougars will have the football. Gray Crow and company not able to establish anything just yet. But it's still early here in South Tampa. We are thrilled to have you with us tonight on Bright House Sports Network. A look at our production truck and a happy crew inside. Panthers 7-0 over the Countryside Cougars. This Plant Band, they really put on a show. They can be heard throughout the game as Gray Crow from the 32 in an I formation for the Cougars. Now they'll hand it off, and Terry Johnson, 1st down run. Up to this point, Countryside had only 4 total yards of offense, Jeff, and Johnson may be the antidote.
Well, he's the guy I talked about against Tarpon Springs when we saw them on TV last, being the guy that did it on both sides of the ball. We also talked about it in the break, and he is the guy that comes in on 1st and 10. Coach Davis listening to the broadcast through his headsets, obviously, and brings in the star senior running back.
17 rushing touchdowns this year. Colorado State and New Mexico are very interested in his services. This time he's met right in the hole as the Panthers come after him. Big 92 Bobby Richardson makes the stop. May have picked up about a foot.
Bobby Richardson is the guy that John Few, the defensive coordinator, told me to keep an eye on him as the key to their defensive front tonight. He's a guy that isn't always there to play each and every play, but boy, if he does bring it, he can be great.
2nd down and 10. Crow hands it off, and Johnson tripped up. May have picked up a yard, and Jeff, for the first time tonight, we're getting to see a marquee matchup as James Wilder in the game right now on defense. Matches up with Tyler Moore, the big Countryside lineman who is headed to the University of Nebraska next month. There you size up both of the athletes. Tyler Moore, 4 stars. James Wilder, 5 stars. We don't care what star they are. They are both superstars in our eyes, but man, physically second to none, I think, in their classes this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But the footwork on the big men is the key. And they've got the footwork, and I like what I see right there.
Gray Crow, his best throw of the night as he zings it down near the 40-yard line. The catch made by Mario Taylor. And a 1st down for Countryside.
And Plant better be careful on the sideline. I've seen him get away with a couple things a little bit late. Gray Crow. Now that's a drop back pocket quarterback. I was watching Tyler Moore because you brought him up. He had great footwork, kept everything away from the quarterbacks, but so did everybody else. And when he got the room to throw, right on the money on the sideline, that's a big-time college-type throw.
Gray Crow was inconsistent, really most of the season, but he has picked it up the last few weeks. Over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in the playoffs alone. Now they'll go back to the ground. Johnson runs over a tackler, and Terry Johnson down to the 20-yard line.
That's their guy. Roberts has had such a big year, but this guy's a little bit bigger, runs downhill, and right now they're actually moving the guys around, and he runs over Greason, almost looking a little bit like James Wilder as he comes in late, puts the big hit on Johnson.
Jared Davis, Countryside head coach, told us that the obvious thinking in the past was Pinellas is soft, Hillsboro's tougher. Well, keep in mind, Countryside beat both Brandon and Tampa Bay Tech to get here. And Terry Johnson and company right now taking it to the Panthers.
That should be a touchdown.
Johnson is down at the goal line, and I think they're going to mark it at the 1-foot line.
I really thought he got in. I know he went in backwards, but I thought he got in there. Was going to bring up their fullback, Yates. He also impressed, but that was done up front. Those were the inside centers, guards working. That's well into the end zone. Thought so on the first. Well, I guess you could see it the other way. I say that's a touchdown. Ball was on his left hand as he went backwards. The ball was in his left hand, and I thought got over the end zone line quite easily. But Yates, the running back, is a sophomore and does a great job as a fullback as well.
Now Johnson on the carry. Touchdown, Cougars.
That's why football is not a 12-minute sport. You know, you got the ebbs and flows of a football game. You can put the ball on the ground a couple times and still overcome it. And right now they've got a 1-point lead.
So that touchdown will do huge wonders for Countryside's confidence. Terry Johnson, an impressive drive with some outstanding runs, and Countryside right now saying, hey, you got a James Wilder. We have a James Wilder too, maybe not as big and quite as dynamic, but Terry Johnson on both sides of the football can get the job done as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've already talked about him. He's a great player. He's probably going to play linebacker in college. That's what most teams have been looking at him as a linebacker, but I like what I see when he runs the football. And I did bring up the fullback Yates because Terry Johnson is doing such a good job, and it's different than how Plant runs the football. They use that fullback. I think Yates is going to get the ball on a different look, and he's also going to get some big gains as they look to try to stop number 2. Number 33 is going to emerge for Countryside tonight as well.
Well, Terry Johnson called the carburetor of the engine on defense for the Cougars. As you look at Brian Moore, the strength coach of Countryside, chatting with the star running back, and we have a tie ball game here at Dat Stadium.
Well, he is the ignition to the offense as well. He's the carburetor on defense, I guess. I'm no car guy, but the ignition that gets the offense started, because that just looked like Plant's offense in the first series.
7 plays, 68 yards, 2:39 goes off the clock. But Terry Johnson, you talk about some film. He's looking for some good footage to show some colleges, and they're wondering why he hasn't gotten more college attention. He had talked last year, Jeff, with Miami and Florida State, you know, just kind of touch base, but no real follow-up interest this year into his senior season. Defensively, it was because most of his film just showed him blitzing. They didn't think that he was enough of a total package as a linebacker, but tonight we see him at running back, and anytime you can run through Plant like he just did, I don't know. I think this guy's going to be playing Division I big-time football.
Oh, yeah. He's a football player on either side of the ball. That's the great news for him and for whoever does ultimately sign him. Here, the key, though, is that size. We talked about it at the very open. They're so big up front, and how are they going to block it? And if Plant can withstand it for 4 quarters, that's the key. The guys, the 4 defensive linemen up front, they're going to use their speed on the outside. James Wilder Jr., they brought Antonio Crawford from the outside. But if they can get downhill fast enough and those front 5 can manhandle the defensive front up front, they're going to have a good night tonight.
Ryan Halter kicks it off. Eric Patterson. This will be a touchback. So if you're just joining us, Plant took the opening kickoff And on the first drive, went right down the field. Philip Ely leading the way. James Wilder grinding out chunks of yardage, and it was 7-0 just like that. Countryside could not get it going offensively until the last drive you just saw. Cougars put it on the board. Terry Johnson, and we're all tied at 7, and still Philip Ely not on the field. Nick Sanders, the senior quarterback, and Ely's backup for the past 2 years right now, the signal caller for Plant. We're going to do a little bit of a reverse, and Antonio Crawford now with the speed. Crawford gets it across the 40 and down at the 44.
Well, that timing all came together. Looked like Countryside was going to be able to get to it, and they pulled the lineman, number 61. Davis Marvel gets outside. Watch him turn back on this. That guy's going to make the play. That's Schmelik. Cody Schmelik almost made that play, but he got back on the block, and turns out into a big run.
He took a shot, Jeff, at the end of that run. Antonio Crawford. Alex Dixon lowered his helmet and got a piece of the ankle of Crawford that time. So first down and 10. Sanders looking right and throwing, and this one's nearly intercepted. Austin Akins had it, and then it was right into the arms of Denzel Thompson before falling incomplete.
Wow, and this is what I want to get them back to, just standard plays that they're so used to running. They do this a million times throughout the year. It goes right through his hands, and Thompson thought he had one picked going the opposite direction. We haven't given a lot of love to Countryside secondary, but they have a very good secondary across the board. We haven't mentioned Alex Dixon. That's probably because they haven't thrown his direction. And we talked about Thompson, 6'3". These guys are good across the board, so it's no easy task throwing against them.
Second down and 10. Wilder runs in to Sanders, and James Wilder's going to have a hard time getting out of the backfield. Right now, this Plant offense, Jeff, is in some disarray.
Well, they're doing too much, too many different things. There's again, that's a play with you got your backup quarterback in. Doesn't get as many reps, and that was an interesting or a different kind of an action that they normally run. So they ran into each other in the backfield, slowed it down, and here they are at 3rd and 10.
Coach Weiner going to the playbook here on 3rd down and 10. Sanders out of the gun, dumps it off. Why not? James Wilder will be 4, now 3 yards shy of a first down, and let's see, 4th down and 3 in this situation across midfield. The Panthers with a decision.
Nick Sanders going back out into the huddle and getting out there pretty quick. So they'll probably get up here and play that game maybe of try to get the other team to jump off sides, give them an easy first down. But Dixon, we just mentioned him a second ago. He's the guy going to North Carolina. Great defensive back, 6'1", 195, that came up and made the sure tackle to make it a 4th down.
So 4th down and 3. Countryside side on their feet. Sanders trying to draw the defense off sides. Nothing doing. Now, a timeout called by Plant. Keep it here, the Bright House Sports Network. At halftime, our Star Recruiting Service halftime show. JB Long standing by in studio. Peter Warwick, former Florida State dynamic wide receiver, now coaching at Southeast High School. Brooke Bennett had a chance to catch up with him. His story at halftime, plus highlights and stats from around the area. It's our Star Recruiting Service halftime show right here on Bright House Sports Network.
Robert Weiner probably pretty comfortable with that first drive as they went right down the field. And then Philip Ely out on the sideline with a bad back. And Drew, we haven't talked about this, but Philip missed the early part of his junior year after having such a great sophomore year. There he is, had a great sophomore year, ended up giving back the reins to Aaron Murray as they won a state championship, but he went 8-0 as a starter. Then he comes back in his junior year, and he missed the first part of his junior year because he had a stress fracture or something in his back. And so now he's out with something going on in his back.
And doesn't look like he's coming back on the field anytime soon. Still on a 4th down, Plant wants to go for it. James Wilder's your running back. They'll pitch it to Wilder, and Countryside waiting for him is Terry Johnson. There to make the play, and a loss of 4 yards.
5 yards deep in the backfield. I don't care if the only film I have on that kid is blitzes. I'm signing him to a scholarship the instant he's available, because anybody that steps up and takes him down in the backfield, takes Wilder down in the backfield 5 yards deep on a 4th down call, I'll take him. I don't care. What a play. That rarely ever happens that a man one-on-one takes James Wilder down.
Well, the carburetor of the engine is revved up right now. Terry Johnson going toe-to-toe with Wilder in this first half. Now the Cougars back to work. Deami Roberts picks up 3.
Now,
keep an eye on the clock. Under a minute.
Under a minute, but also you had your recipe for success was run downhill. Beat the quickness by running hard downhill behind your big dudes, right? Get behind those guys and kill them with your big guy Johnson. Now you get tricky again. You spread it out. You got a speed motion. Deami Roberts picks up 2. We'll see how they attack it with the short time frame. But their recipe in the second half is going to have to bring Terry Johnson in and run downhill.
There's Tyler Moore. Keep an eye on him, number 58. Pass blocking now. The throw downfield. It's caught. The Cougars, Mario Taylor. And he is down. They're going to mark it at the 1-foot line.
Now that's the turnaround. That play looks exactly like Plant does all season long, throwing those long passes down the middle of the football field, and he just beats him, just straight out. Taylor just beats the coverage straight down the middle of the field. You got to say that is a pretty ball. Tuck that ball away, son, and gets the ball down to the 1.
That is a 42-yard gain, and all of a sudden, Gray Crow gaining confidence with each play. And Mario Taylor, another player that has come into his own the second half of the year. He had an interception return, Taylor did, against Brandon a couple weeks ago in the first round of the postseason. He's got those long arms, Jeff, and those big hands, and he has become a deep threat now for the Cougars in these playoffs.
I guess so. And he just beat him down the middle. They haven't really tried it. They've been keeping the ball. They're trying to keep the ball out of trouble, right? Let Crow throw the ball outside. If it goes off somebody's hands, you usually don't get into too much trouble. So stay away from the middle of the field. We saw how much trouble Dyron Spate got into throwing the ball down the middle a couple of weeks ago in a playoff game. But this time he fires a nice, pretty ball down the middle, and Taylor was actually quite open on that as he gets it real close to the end zone.
So first down and goal. Cougars right up the gut, and Johnson has another score.
That's really, see their size take advantage. The guard pulls around and just, it's really big and easy to get in on those. So that's where the size seems to take over the best. See big Tyler Moore, their superstar lineman. Right now, the linemen on this team are the superstars.
Jared Davis hired at age 26. Extra point will be blocked, so Countryside stuck on 13. The kicking game has been an issue many times this year for the Cougars, as Halter couldn't get it in the air that time.
Oh, that was just perfect timing by James Wilder. He timed it off the right guard area, just came straight through, so the kicker and holder and snapper had no chance of getting that ball up in the air.
Well, 13-7, little bit surprised, Jeff, as we near the end of the first half.
I would say I'm a little bit surprised, really. I thought Plant would have a good day today. Obviously, after the first one, I mean, going into the game, before the game started, I thought it'd be a good game, but I thought Plant would kind of have their way ultimately. And right now, obviously, your #1 quarterback that's going to the University of Alabama hasn't played except for the first drive of the game, which went very well. And since then, it's been tough. I think it's going to be onto Coach Wiener's shoulders to simplify this game, make it a little more simplified and standardized football for Nick Sanders to take advantage of it and to get back to playing regular football.
There's the drive summary. Gray Crow, the big throw to Mario Taylor, the big play on that drive. Gray Crow, boy, what a road it has been for him to this regional final championship. Is the other side, Philip Ely icing the back right now, and you got to wonder if number 12 is going to be back in the huddle at any time here tonight. If he is not, it could be an uphill battle for the Panthers as Scott Greason now from inside the 5 will try and return this. Gets it up to the 14-yard line, and with 36 seconds left to go in this first half, the Plant offense will trot back on the field, and once again Nick Sanders will be the quarterback. Jeff, you can remember a couple years ago when Aaron Murray, the all-star quarterback in Plant, went down and Philip Ely came in. That was a great story, almost too good to be true. Well, tonight it's almost like the same thing is happening, except the stakes. It's not against Hillsborough in a regular season game. It's against Countryside in a regional final.
Yeah, they're going to get out of here in the first half. Just get out of here with the being down 6 points and come back and reload in the second half. But you're right, all the stakes. But they've got a senior quarterback. Nick Sanders is a senior. He can take it on his shoulders and make the plays. But nothing fancy, nothing tricky. You know, just run your Plant offense, and I think they'll be fine. They'll be able to get the ball going again.
So Sanders and Robert Weiner will have, you can bet, from heart to hearts over the next 10 to 15 minutes at halftime as Weiner goes to the locker room, and before he does, he checks in with Arbrook Bennett.
First of all, Philip Ely, are we going to see him back out here in the second half?
I don't know. We'll have to get in and take a look at him at halftime. He's had lower back issues for 2 years now, so just acted up on him at the beginning of this week. He hasn't really practiced this week, so we'll see how it goes.
Coach Weiner, obviously, offensively, you're going to have to go in there and make some changes, being a little bit behind going in. What are you going to have to do now?
Well, we just got to execute some plays. You know, it wasn't a matter of the quarterback. I mean, the fourth down play, we go for it. We don't pick up the Mike linebacker, and, you know, it's the same thing as on every play. We just got to pick up the guys we got to block.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Robert Weiner will have to reach into his bag here. Still a second half to be played, 24 minutes. After half number 1, the edge goes to the Cougars, 13-7. Up next, our Star Recruiting Service halftime show. We continue with the Star Recruiting Service halftime show from Plant High School, starrecruitingservice.com, connecting student athletes with college coaches. Countryside with a 6-point lead over Plant, and a turn of events in that first half. Plant came out, went right down the field. James Waller was running the football with ease. The Panthers go on top, 7-0. Countryside could not get it going offensively. Antonio Crawford shooting the gaps, but then Countryside got their feet under them, started to figure things out on defense, settle in. Gray Crow was still struggling throughout the first quarter, but Terry Johnson came on big and dominated that second quarter.
Both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
You're right. I still think that's a touchdown. That got called down at the 1, and he goes in here, but he was on both sides of the line of scrimmage, just like he was the last time we saw him. So he needs to send these games that are on TV out to all the colleges, because he needs to go to any school he wants to go to.
That was Mario Taylor, 43 yards on the catch, led to another touchdown. And that's where we stand, 13-7. Look at the rushing yards. Terry Johnson, most of those for Countryside. Plant, James Waller had a big first half, but definitely slowed down towards the end of the first half. Total yards, Plant still has the edge. Both teams have turned it over once, and penalties not really a factor after one half of play. The biggest storyline, Philip Ely, Plant quarterback, looks to be out for the rest of the night with a sore back, and the Panthers' hopes in the hands of Nick Sanders. When we come back, half number 2. Plant trailing Countryside at home, 13-7. Can Countryside pull off the shocker? We'll see. Back to Dad Stadium. Playoff action on Bright House Sports Network, the only place you can watch live local high school football on television. 13-7 your score. The Panthers trailing at the end of half number 1. Tyler Moore, the big man from Countryside, controlling that line of scrimmage in the first half and paving the way for Terry Johnson, his running back. And right now the 6th rated team in our Bright House Sports Network poll is up on the 5th rated team. And we are also, as we look at Terry Johnson, keeping an eye on other games throughout the area. The Elmwood Hawks in a battle with Montagor to Charlotte tonight. Armwood leading 14-10 in the third quarter. Jefferson trying to take down an upset-minded Vanguard team. Right now they trail 21-20. What a week it was for Quentin Williams last week, becoming Florida's all-time leading touchdown passer. And Robinson right now trailing Glade Central 21-7.
Tough nights all across the board. We got a great one here.
Let's send it down to Brooke Bennett, who just talked with Countryside's head coach. What did Coach Davis tell you, Brooke?
Well, you have to believe that the Cougars are excited about how they went into the first half there. Coming out, listen, Grey Crow really lit things up there in that second quarter. That really gave them momentum. They're coming out here, not changing anything. This is what they've been doing all season. It's been the little things, the little steps that get them to the big picture, and that's exactly what they're going to be looking for in these next two quarters.
All right, Brooke, thank you. Grant Van Eman on to kick it away. It's fielded at the 10. The Plant special teams unit is out firing as Joey Lombardi on that return has not had a very good night returning kicks. Fumbled one in the first quarter.
Yeah, their field position hasn't been good so far, but we got somebody down on the field.
A player down right now for Plant, and it looks like Schnitzline, senior defensive lineman Nathan Schnitzline, and he looks like he is in some pain right now as all the players take a knee. That's a good sign. As he gets up, Nathan Schnitzline, a two-way player for Plant, plays offensive line and along the defensive line. His older brother Matt Schnitzline, a starter on the 2008 Plant State Championship team, a valuable member of this team.
Surprised to see Countryside come out in a shotgun look to start the second half. They found their success when they ran the ball downhill with Terry Johnson. Obviously, Deami Roberts is their big guy with 1,200 yards on the year, but surprised to go in a shotgun coming out of the second half.
They hand it to Roberts. Deami Roberts contained in that first half, gets it across the 20 and up to the 22 as he picks up 6 and a 2nd and 4 coming up.
And they do get a nice pickup on first down. This is what we talked about, Drew, at halftime, you and I. The defensive line of Plant is the key. Can they hold up against this big offensive line for 4 quarters once they are playing from behind? Scott Greason got a little blood on the elbow, and that's going to happen on this artificial surface more often than it will happen on regular grass. But like I said, those big offensive linemen, can they control the defensive front or the offensive front in the second half?
On second down, Cougars go to the power back, and Ryan Yates is going to be close to a first down, just a little bit short, and a third down coming up.
That was his first opportunity of the night, getting the ball in his hands. Had a big night last time we saw him against Tarpon Springs, but a 3rd and short, we'll see what they choose to go. And it's Terry Johnson, the big tailback in the game with Yates in front of him.
3rd down and short. Crow bobbled the snap. Johnson lunges forward, and let's see if Terry Johnson is going to be awarded the first down. It looks like he got to the marker.
Yep, got just enough.
First down, Cougars. Terry Johnson, the MVP of the first half. A bull, 8 rushes, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had all of Countryside's rushing yards in the first half. First down and 10. Now they'll hand it off back to Roberts. A little power mixed with a little speed. Deami Roberts, the starter last year and a star on the JV team. Tough to fill the shoes of Alton Taylor, the great Countryside running back from last week. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, Deami Roberts had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties last week in that game against Tampa Bay Tech. He did not know whether he was going to play, because when that happens, you get ejected. And when you get ejected, it's a FHSAA rule. You're going to sit out the next week. Well, Roberts playing here tonight and making the most of it. Deami Roberts across midfield and all the way down to the 43. A flag is down back at the 40 on the other side of the field.
That'll come back. It was a hold, but it was downfield far enough that it shouldn't be a bad situation. Replay second down, but it's not going to move the stick very far from where it was. See the motion and then go back. Now what they've been doing better as far as blocking up front on Countryside is turning out. Plant started with speed from the outside, and now they started turning those big tackles out on those defensive ends that are trying to come in so quickly, and they've really found a lot more success after the first couple series. And when you have a big offensive line and you can play with the lead, that becomes very difficult.
So wipe out a 26-yard gain by Deami Roberts. Now it's 2nd and 5. Go back to Roberts on the ground, and he's up to the 35. He picks up 4. Let's send it down again to our Brooke Bennett. Brooke?
Drew, big number 58 on that offensive line, Tyler Moore. Listen to this. He had the experience last year of walking off the field, not having the outcome like they were hoping. So Coach Davis said on Monday when they came into practice, Tyler, I want you to talk to the boys and I want you to tell them how you felt walking off that field last year. I think, Drew, what we're seeing right now, it worked.
Yeah, I'd say so. Tyler playing angry right now. Keep an eye on him. Opening up holes along that front as another first down rush. Countryside able to move the chains once again.
The key now is Plant standing up tall on first down. They cannot keep going those short third down situations, or that's where that big offensive line will continue to dominate.
Yeah, that is Brian Moore. That's the father of Tyler Moore. He played at Nebraska under Tom Osborne, and right now is the strength coach for this Countryside football team. He's done a fabulous job getting these players to championship level. As Roberts takes a carry short, picks up maybe 1.
And Drew, I was out on the field very early tonight, and he was looking for you, Mr. Moore. He was looking for you. I don't know. He's, hey, I don't know what your name is, but where's Drew Felios? I'm looking for Drew. What's a special relationship there, man?
Hey, well, I actually worked in Nebraska my last job, so we shared some Nebraska moments together. Of course, his old college coach, Tom Osborne, now the athletic director at the University of Nebraska. And Nebraska is where a former Countryside quarterback, Harrison Beck, committed to back in 2003. This play is just swallowed by the Plant defense. Michael Dvornik, number 56, there to make the play. Also 55, Spencer Matthews there.
Very slow to develop. They ran something similar. Well, actually, it wasn't similar to the running back. That's Roberts getting it out of the backfield. When they did a successful screen that came off quickly, it was a wide receiver screen coming toward the middle. That was the the running back blocking and then sneaking out of the backfield. Took too long to develop. Ball hung up in the air, and Plant really got to that one. So now you got the 3rd and long. These are the situations that Plant has to be successful on tonight.
3rd down and 14. Gray Crow from the gun, chased. And look at Crow get out of trouble across the 40, but he is going to be shy of first down yardage. He's at the 44, had to get to the 47.
And what they did on the defense, I was very impressed with Crow right there. Actually, a good quick feet, better than I thought, and made it a shorter 4th down situation, a good punting situation to plant back deep in their own territory. But what they did was they got 3 guys all coming from the same side of the ball, and that caused a free guy to run and got good pressure.
So Halter back to kick. It's a low one. And Mann's going to field it now from the 25, dragged down at the 32. So when we come back, the Plant Panther offensive machine will try and rev up. They trail 13-7 at Dat Stadium. 13-7 your score. It's throwback weekend for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The old jersey of Leroy Selman in the house, and a jam-packed crowd here at the 5A Region 2 Championship. From Dat Stadium, Drew Felios, Jeff Carlson, Brooke Bennett down on the field. The entire Bright House Sports Network crew, we're glad to have you with us tonight. 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter. The Panthers now playing uphill with some shifting here on first down. Nick Sanders is your quarterback. Back to throw with lots of time. And Sanders just has to unload it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I liked what they started to do, the concept of it. The Plant has more formations than any high school football team in the nation. I would guarantee it. And they tried it with shifting and got 4 guys on one side, 1 on the other. Nick looked to the left, but Caselli ran a quick move that moved Thompson off him. I thought he was going to throw the slant. And then he continued across the middle, and Sanders ended up getting pressured and running out here to the left. But I like the concept for the start of it, 2nd and 10.
Handed off to Calvin Mann. Countryside. Those yards tough to come by against this Cougar defense. John Primrose, the defensive lineman. Really, Jeff, since the first drive of the game, Countryside has plugged those holes.
Yeah, they sure have. And if anything, Plant has to get the running game outside quicker. The times that they have run outside, Countryside's done a good job, but it's because they started from inside. They've got to get the ball outside quicker if they want to pressure it.
James Wilder is not in the football game right now for the Panthers. Sanders rolling right and hits the open man. It's Greason. And Scott Greason, they're going to mark him out short.
Tough spot. From our side, it looked like he got 2 or 3 yards further. Let's see if we can get it on the sideline and take a look at if the ball went out or if his foot went out early, because it looked textbook. They get it to the sideline. Looks like he knows where he needs to go. Maybe that right toe touched the line. I thought he got the first down, but the ref was right on top of it, 1.5 yards short. They're going to punt the ball away.
Yeah, right there, Jeff, you saw the right foot. It went out of bounds. The official right there to make the call. Greason can't believe it.
That was a good positive play for Plant's offense. We haven't seen a good positive play in quite some time. That was a good one. He was open, got the ball to him, just stepped out of bounds.
The block is on. Countryside gets to the punter, and Tyler Serpo falls on it at the 34. A big play by the Cougar special teams.
You don't usually see these kind of things happen to Plant. They're usually very sound in all the things they do, but this ball just took a long time to get out. Let's see if there's any hesitation here. Just holding it. And give that credit to the hustle of Brian Zopp. How do you say that, Drew? That's just a sophomore, 5'9", 200 pounds. Nice hustle in there.
Brian Zopp, a 10th grader, makes a play in a huge situation. And Countryside now with Golden field position. Gray Crow going to work. Play fake. Now looking sidelines. It is incomplete. It looks like Roberts made that catch.
Oh, it was a great catch, but it was great defense as well. 2 guys there knocking him out of bounds as he went up to catch it. It's a good look. I thought they were going to throw out to the right. He comes back to the left, lays it up, and it's a great pass, great catch, and great defense. But because he's out of bounds, you don't get it.
Tough to see whether the foot made it down in bounds, but Deami Roberts has that wiped out. So 2nd down and 10. Nico Morgado lines up on the near side. Now Roberts takes a shot, and James Wilder runs him down in the backfield. So a loss of 2, and we'll take a look at some more scores from around our viewing area. Manatee over Bayside, 21-19. Bayside playing tough. That's the same team that Jefferson blew out earlier this year. How about Lakeland over Fleming Island, 26-10?
Something we're used to seeing. Lakeland continue to move on or get close to it.
Southeast over overtime win last week. Now all knotted with South Fort Myers and Gainesville over Lake Gibson. 3rd down and long. Yancey was in motion. Now Crow throws over the middle. It's caught as Lombardi made the catch, and he's corralled at the 32-yard line. Right there with Spencer Matthews. A 4th down coming up.
Nice job getting rid of it. I was waiting for a yellow flag to come out. I had my eyes on James Wilder and how they were, the blocking scheme that Countryside was going to use against him. I thought he was held, but he got a little bit of pressure as Crow got the ball away, bringing up another 4th down. Now they're going to try the long field goal.
It will be a long field goal for Ryan Halter. A 48-yard attempt by Halter. The hold is down and the kick is up. He got all of it, but it's just short. So Countryside fails to cash in on a golden opportunity, and now Plant will get another chance on offense. Still, you gotta like the confidence of quarterback Gray Crowbrook. He is bringing it in this football game tonight.
Crow had to come into the season this year really getting the confidence of the players, because he transferred last year to Ocala Trinity Catholic because he didn't know if he was going to start as a sophomore. He's only a junior, but talk about the team really buying into him and him coming out there and telling him, listen, I'm all about what Countryside is going to do here, and just keeps on leading them as they continue this drive in this game.
So Plant now takes over from the 20. Wilder going to be met in the backfield. Cougars knew it was coming.
Tough when you're tackled by 4 guys, Drew. Very tough.
Yeah, Kevin Kitchen, 260-pound defensive lineman, was there. These Cougars have been feisty tonight. This is a Countryside defense that last year played that unorthodox 3-3-5 defense with John Davis. He said they were like just a bunch of little baby Cougars that came up and bite. Well, tonight they're playing the 4-3 and they are mastering it to perfection.
Well, they got about a 9 to 10 man box now. They throw out of it.
Sanders winds up trying to create some time and hits his man, but incomplete.
They've decided that they like Nick Sanders on the roll to the right. The guy came open late deep, but really no chance to make the deep throw. So he chooses the short man, but it's such a quick throw. Takes a good shot right there as well by Matt Rayner. But they've got to get back to the basics and just get some of these throws. But when they go in that 3 running back formation, it's a 10-man box. Cody Schmelik is back a little bit as a safety, but outside of that, they got all those guys, and it's going to be tough to break some decent-sized runs. Here they go, 4 wides.
3rd down for Sanders. Nick Sanders under pressure, and he'll go down in the backfield. The Countryside defense feasting. Mike Love.
I remember calling his name the last few times we've played or watched him play. Mike Love is a big-time player. 9th sack of the season, as you see there. Sanders steps up in the pocket, which is a good thing, but Love sees it and releases. Makes it a long 4th down.
So after the sack by Love, the punting team on the field. Van Amen. It's a high kick. It takes a plant bounce and down to the 35-yard line. And for Jared Davis, a win here tonight would take this Countryside program to a new level. Look at what he has done, though, in just his first year as a head coach at a new school. For Davis, it's his first year as a new coach anywhere, but guys like James Harrell, of course, coached at Freedom High School. There you take a look, though, at some of the great first years that coaches have had in the past. You got to go to Billy Turner, Roland Acosta to find some of those. 1st down and 10 for Countryside.
Now you look at this situation, and 1st and 10.
Got a dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
The team with the 6-point lead and only 1:52 left in the 3rd quarter, and they come out on 1st and 10 and go 5 wide receivers across the board. Guess who's either going to run it or throw it? That's Gray Crow. That's advancement and getting confidence of your coaches that now he is starting to be able to take on more responsibility. Here they come back out in and run it again. 1st and 15.
Throw out of the shotgun, hands it off. Joe Gansey makes a cut, and he is not going to get much. Tripped up after a pickup of 1.
Try to use that fast motion to get some quick speed to the outside. Didn't work.
Jeff, we've seen this offense now a couple games against Tarpon and tonight with Jared Davis. How is it different from last year's offense that we saw under John Davis? Is it the same, or does it have a few tweaks?
Well, it has a few tweaks. Jimbo Schmelik was so much more quick. I mean, he really got to the line of scrimmage quick. So he was that kind of wildcat type quarterback that could run the ball and throw it. So Gray Crow is definitely not that type of quarterback. It's a little bit more pro standard.
Cougars run it again. It's up to the original line of scrimmage. Countryside fans now we're going to have a lead after 3 quarters, most likely. And the Cougars starting to gain more and more confidence. No points so far in this 3rd quarter, but their defense playing outstanding, and Nick Sanders in the Plant offense still yet to come up with an answer. Crow now rolling right, throws, and it's incomplete. Good defense by Eric Patterson, who knocked it out of the arms of Mario Taylor.
Eric Patterson is a senior. They're hoping to see better and better play out of him. He's got all the potential in the world. This one is a fantastic defensive play. Still thought he was almost going to make that catch, but that was fantastic stop.
So 4th down, Patterson. Well, he is a star on defense for Plant. One is away. Countryside bounce, and it'll go down to the 21-yard line. That's where the Panthers will start. It's been interesting watching Ryan Halter operate here tonight, Jeff. The most unorthodox punting style I think we've seen all year. He's also had a field goal block.
A few teams have now gone to that. Even at the college level, they take off running to the right towards their kicking side. It allows the kicking team to run down the field a little bit more, so you're hoping to get shorter punt return opportunities. And sometimes because the ball's lower, you can get some funny bounces.
14 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. A 45-yard punt by Ryan Halter. And Plant is going to have to go 80 yards to take the lead. Those Plant receivers we talked about in the open have not been a factor here tonight. Antonio Crawford and Austin Akins really unable to get into this football game. Instead, Terry Johnson has been the story. Another big tackle on 1st down as we come to a close here in this 3rd quarter. So when we come back, it's quarter number 4. Can the Panthers and company find a way to top Terry Johnson and these Countryside Cougars? Nip and tuck here, headed to the 4th from Dad Stadium. Countryside and Plant, the Cougars with a 6-point edge here on the game of the week. A regional championship from Dad Stadium, and Plant going for that 3-peat. Tough going to accomplish that. As you look at some of the teams that have tried over the years, the Lakeland Dreadnoughts with the Pouncy Boys and Chris Rainey and Ahmad Black did that back from 04 to 05, and once again in 06 when they were the best team in the nation. Plant going for that 3rd state championship, but a tough job here tonight in this regional final against Countryside.
Tough to stay on top. Always tough to be the hunted.
Without a doubt. 2nd down. Nick Sanders at quarterback for the Panthers. Now throwing over the middle and into tons of traffic. Terry Johnson was right there waiting. It was intended for Daniel Caselli. Also, Adam Vincent in there. Right now, 3 of 10 passing, Jeff, for Nick Sanders.
Yeah, it's just been kind of a hodgepodge of types of throws. I think, what'd you say, of 10, he's had 4 or 5 of them have been rolls to the right. That one looked like it had potential with the motion, but it never materialized into much. He threw it into traffic over the middle and incomplete, but just didn't materialize into very much.
Now it's 3rd down. Plant 2 of 8 tonight on 3rd down conversions. Sanders looking long with a player open out there, and Antonio Crawford drops what could have been the tying touchdown.
Remember the Buccaneers last week? They had the Spurlock deep. Josh Freeman throws it deep just like this. It was coming from the opposite side of the field, and the finish looked something like that. And the Buccaneers lost by 7 right now. Plant down by 6. Still the whole remaining 4th quarter to go, but Nick Sanders put that right on the money. Antonio Crawford, a guy we talked about in the open, needing to make big plays, wasn't able to on that one.
Had a great chance right there as you saw his teammates coming to his aid right there, hoping his confidence doesn't get shot after a play like that. The Panthers punt it away, and Countryside will start from the 34-yard line. Wow. Well, on Saturday, a brand new show, Jeff. Tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. Be sure and tune in to the Toyota Sports Connection Prep Edition, a brand new high school show that we are going to have every single Saturday with analysis from Brooke Bennett and yours truly hosting. FHSN.com with more information on that. Toyota Sports Connection Prep Edition on Bright House Sports Network. That is tomorrow night, our debut show at 11 o'clock. As Deami Roberts able to pick up 2 off that right side for the Cougars.
And all they want to do is keep that clock running. Running backs need to stay in bounds, keep running downhill as best they can. Plant's got to step up, as they did. That's not bad, 1.5 yards or so. But they got to keep those 1st down pickups short. As we said, if they get into 3rd and shorts, they're going to be in a tough situation with the size difference up front.
2nd down and 8. Cougars hand it off again. Terry Johnson fighting for yardage as he picks up 4 down to the 40-yard line, and rights to the telecast of this regional final have been granted to Bright House Sports Network by the Florida High School Athletic Association, intended solely for the enjoyment of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the FHSAA is strictly prohibited. 3rd down now for the Cougars. They'll go with Johnson, and he is tackled nicely as Matthew Suarez, the most experienced linebacker for Plant, makes a senior play.
Well, we haven't called his name a lot, but what a great play and a great time to step up and make it. Gets quick pressure, steps inside of the blocks up front, gets back there and makes a sure tackle. I'd say Terry Johnson has been running just like James Wilder, bouncing off guys. Tough to bring down one-on-one, and he just did it.
Yeah, Matthew Suarez fearless. A huge tackle on Johnson to bring that drive to an end. Yates now continuing to make it interesting back there, punting the football, and let's see, Plant will start from the 34-yard line.
Now this is an interesting mark by the referees. Very tough to get that one because of the angle of the punter running off to the side, and then it went out of bounds so fast. Usually the referee can line himself up from behind a big punt, but that one goes out so fast, harder to line up and get it all the way out to the 40-yard line. Let's see what Plant comes back with after hitting the big throw. Perfect throw, not such a perfect catch. See if Nick Sanders built up some confidence on that particular throw to come out in a I formation, which is your standard running look, of course.
1st down for Plant. They go back to the ground, and James Wilder. Wilder gets the edge across midfield and down at the 45, a pickup of 15. And a Plant 1st down.
Now that's what the first drive looked like. Nobody touches him, and I really like the speed in the 4th quarter. Seeing him step out here, turn on the jets, gets around here, nobody catches up. It's the blocking outside. Daniel Caselli trying to block Thompson. It's a tough block, and Thompson, give him a lot of credit for stopping that ball as a 15-yard run when it could have been a lot bigger.
16 rushes now for Wilder, nearly 80 yards. And this Plant home field, their sideline has been silent for most of this game. Looking to come alive here. Wilder pounds it again for 6 more. And I think if Plant is going to go down here at home, they're going to do it, putting their best player on the field with the football time after time.
Well, they should. In this type of situation, they absolutely should. It's one score, and an extra point wins the football game. I don't think that from the 39-yard line that they can take all the time off the clock, so Countryside's going to get their opportunity, but absolutely put it in 32's hands, and we'll see what happens at the end of the night, but we'll trust him for sure.
Wilder bobbled it and now breaks free. James Wilder down to the 16.
You know, we're impartial up here as we call these games, but my heart skipped a beat as this ball pops out of his hand. I was like, oh, jeez. And he gets it back and obviously breaks another tackle and thought he was going to go the distance straight down the middle, and Thompson comes up with another big stop.
A gain of 18 for Wilder as Denzel Thompson makes a touchdown saving tackle. And 32 stays in the football game. He looks winded right now, but the Panthers starting to gain momentum. First down and 10. Now it's Calvin Mann. Makes a cut at the line of scrimmage. And he gets it to the 13-yard line. Boy, everybody on the edge of their seat as we near the 8-minute mark.
That formation hasn't given Plant very good results over time, at least from when we've seen it, because they almost always hand it downhill, and the team can, as we said earlier, have a 10-man box. That time they gave it to Mann, and it looked pretty good. Looked like it had a lot of potential. He gets 4.5 or 5 yards, but it looked a little bit different and looked like a nice play.
Second down. Daniel Caselli lines up on the right side at wide receiver. Wilder inside the 10, picks up 3 yards, a third down and 2 coming up.
As he made his cut, he cut off his inside foot, the left one, and it just went out from underneath him. Sometimes this artificial surface is, although it's great, it doesn't tear up like we saw last year when we had the Mud Bowl, but it can be slippery. I remember being at Jesuit last year, and everybody was slipping all over the field, and his left foot came out from him on that one, bringing up third and about almost 2 yards.
Wilder one more time. Touchdown.
Opened it up for him that time. He's been really working hard, getting hit by a lot of guys. Opened up the hole, let him run through it for the go-ahead score, the potential go-ahead score.
You're watching one of the premier high school football players in the entire nation at his best in a critical situation, and now the Panthers will send on Grant Van Amen for the lead. The Plant Panthers lead by 1, 14-13 after the second touchdown of the game by James Wilder. And when we come back, the Cougars will try and answer. 32 in effect here in this fourth quarter. The Plant Panthers have regained the lead, 14-13. A nail biter here in the drive summary for Plant. 6 plays, 60 yards. James Wilder at his best, 56 rushing yards on that drive, ate up nearly 3 minutes. And now Jared Davis, young head coach for Countryside, hoping his boys can dig deep. Van Amen to kick it off for the defending state champions. Roberts will return it from the 3. Nice move by DeAndre Roberts, but he's not going to fake out. Eric Patterson. Wow.
Patterson, good for you. What a open field tackle. I thought Roberts had the advantage in that. Made a nice move. Patterson, I guess he watched his belly button. That's what you always hear these coaches say. Watch the belly button. The belly button won't move, and Roberts got pounded.
Well, first down and 10 for this Countryside offense. Crow from the shotgun. Looking right. And now throws. And it's incomplete. Let's send it down on the field. Our famous Tate fan of the game as Jordan Rossi, the player down on the sideline. Brooke Bennett, our famous Tate fan of the game. Who you got?
Drew, I got a couple of football players, that is soccer players, sophomores from Countryside, Dalton and Nick. And let's talk about this. Countryside undefeated for the first time in school history. Dalton, how great is it to come into Plant Stadium, down by 1 right now, but still making that drive in this fourth quarter?
Oh, it's awesome, man. Being here with all my boys playing football, supporting my boys is awesome.
Nick, how exciting has it been this season to watch the Countryside Cougars play so well?
It's felt great. We're practically unstoppable. The boys soccer team's unstoppable. Seaside, baby. Seaside.
It has been all Countryside, and of course, it's famous Tate fan of the game on behalf of Famous Tate Bedding and Appliance Centers. You make fans famous. Famous Tate, boys, here is your football.
Is that what they're supposed to do with that?
Well, that football is not new anymore. As right now, everybody has their eyes on Jordan Rossi, the player down. Most people on the field in this stadium have taken a knee, and we'll take one more look.
This is a play that's been run by a lot of teams for a lot of years, but I just hate it. You see the outside defender comes back up from the outside receiver to the inside receiver who's running an out route. I don't like it. And you see a lot of receivers get hurt that way because they're blindsided by the outside defender that wasn't guarding them originally.
Jordan Rossi, a slot receiver, a running back in the spring, but made that transition to wide receiver. Big part of this Countryside offense. And now a 2nd and 10 for the Cougars.
I didn't like that 1st and 10 call anyway. 6.5 minutes, they can still be methodical about this.
Hand it off to Roberts. Yami Roberts not going to get away from the Plant defense. Now the Panthers starting to gang tackle. Well, next week, be sure and join us for the state semifinal. And those teams to be decided, that matchup to be decided. But right now, the Lakeland Dreadnoughts taking care of business, so most likely, how about the holiday lights there on the truck? A nice effect. It looks like.
Did that truck drive down the street doing that? That's pretty cool. Do they sell any ice cream out of that door? Because I could go for, what do you call them? I need some kind of ice cream.
3rd down, 14. Ray Crow to throw. Downfield. And knocked away. A big-time play made by Antonio Crawford, the same player who dropped that touchdown pass a few minutes ago.
I'm glad you brought it up because that was a fantastic defensive play. Doesn't make up for the touchdown that he would have had, but boy, what a great athletic move. Very similar to the first half. Big-time play that Countryside turned into their touchdown. But that was fantastic. And that is what they have to look forward to next year as Antonio Crawford is a junior. Will be coming back playing both sides of the ball again.
And Jeff, now dangerous territory for Ryan Holter.
The man lined up at the 35.
Gets the punt away. Be taken at the 42. Eric Mann with the football. And that's where he'll go down as he's knocked back. And likely that matchup next week will be a 5A semifinal if Lakeland takes care of business. The winner of this game will take on the Dreadnoughts. And Nick Sanders now hoping to close out the Cougars and what has been an outstanding football game. Armwood looks like they're taking care of business, leading Charlotte by 16. How about Jefferson? Now they've kicked it into high gear over Vanguard.
Chalk up another 5 touchdown passes. I don't know. I don't know how many he's thrown, but Quentin Williams throws a lot.
First down. And here comes Wilder now. Made a move, and now look at the speed.
Oh, goodness.
James Wilder stays in bounds and scores.
And he's going to get a 15-yard penalty for taunting. And another one. Now, can you get 2 in one play? He did it. First of all, one was a live ball play and one was a dead ball play. So we'll see how this whole thing settles out. But earlier in the game, I talked about how he keeps people off of his hips. Okay, he gets stuck here. Now watch. He gets his hips away both times, and then he's able to turn the corner, and he stays in bounds. What athleticism to not step out of bounds. Most guys you would see step out of bounds. That finger going up at the 20-yard line is unsportsmanlike, and then the finish at the end was unsportsmanlike. We'll see what happens.
The run of the year on the game of the week, 43 yards for James Wilder after he totally switches directions and then tiptoes that sideline to stay in bounds.
Drew, I have a question. If it is 2 personal fouls, listen to me now. De'Ami Roberts was thought to have might not get to play. They overruled it on Saturday and said it wasn't that egregious and he was able to play. But if he has 2 personal fouls on the same play, is that something that would put him out of the game?
Very interesting point.
One's a live ball foul and one's a dead ball foul.
Well, Sonny Hester of the FHSAA is in the building tonight. That'd be a good question for him.
That's probably what Jared Davis is trying to find out as well.
On the same play, I just don't know how they could enforce that on one play, especially when it's not an altercation or anything like that.
One's live and one's dead. They threw 2 different sets of flags.
And the kick is up and good. Jeff, I think when you're talking about that unsportsmanlike, it's either got to be a contact with another player or an official. I just don't see it happening.
Could be
on a celebration, but that is a very good point.
Don't know. I don't think that's ever happened before, but I'll tell you what, that's one of the most fantastic football plays I've ever witnessed. And you know what? I think if I would have broken out of that pack, I probably would have put my hand up a little earlier. Well, I wouldn't have had the speed to get to the end zone, but I'd have gotten 2 penalties as well.
Well,
that was awesome.
You bring up that point because for De'Ami Roberts last week, the first unsportsmanlike that he got was a negative reaction to an official. The second was the celebration, which eventually ejected him.
But overruled by the officials the next day.
Yes.
And that would probably be the same situation here. Even if it was the rules, they would say, come on, give me a break. Kid's playing incredible football. We're not going to keep him out of a state semifinal game because he was cheering for himself.
Second string quarterback stepping up.
Well, Wilder has taken over this game.
Dude, I'm sorry, that was one of the most athletic plays I've seen him do it. We saw just last year him getting pulled back by 14 different Countryside defenders. Remember that? While he was on one leg? Well, just the athleticism to turn that corner and not step out of bounds was something else.
Still 5:11 left to go in this game.
That's 1 score and a 2-point conversion.
Absolutely. So still a 1-possession game.
They just don't need to get out of sorts. I think both sides kind of got out of their offensive game plans and rhythms. Don't come out with 6.5 minutes left in the game and a 1-point deficit and spread your team out and throw the ball way out to the sideline from the far hash. That ended up getting the injury on the sideline, but you don't really need to do that. You've been doing other things better through the game, so go back and do those things well on a final drive. Now the penalty did move the kickoff back 15 yards, so Countryside is going to get the advantage here on the return. Should get good field position.
Another offsides called on the Plant Panthers. Plant defeating Plant City in the first round of the postseason, and then last week a 50-23 win over Newsom. They also had that big win over Robinson in the season finale. Great Crow and company, big win over Brandon in round 1, and then Last week, Tampa Bay Tech thought that they were going to out-physical Countryside. That didn't happen, and Countryside has proven their value here tonight, but they've let the last 4 to 5 minutes clearly get away.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But now, Drew, they are kicking off from where you have a free kick after a safety. They're at their own 20-yard line. They should get the ball near midfield.
It's going to be Lombardi from the 30. Joey Lombardi trying to find a seam. Lombardi following a block. And Joey Lombardi out at the 34-yard line, a big-time return for the senior.
He wasn't able to get loose earlier in the game, but the senior, only 190 pounds, finds some great cuts. That's a good move. Right there is another one, and then he keeps his balance. He cuts back to the outside, makes a big play in his last year of high school football.
Joey Lombardi was supposed to be the starting running back going into fall camp, but he pulled his groin at the beginning of it and was eventually moved to wide receiver. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lombardi in the Wildcat before this night is through. A first down and 10 for Greg Crow, and an open man and a drop as A.J. Sattinger, the tight end, had it in his hands.
Wow, good throw. Got to get your hands on that, bring it in this time of the game, of course. But there's a lot of space in the middle of the field. Do they dare throw it back to the middle? Everybody went to the outside again, and that's what they've done the last couple of throws. Do they dare bring somebody back across? There was an outside slant coming that Crow could have thrown. We'll see if we get any other moves that way. There's a lot of space.
Johnson has been the money man for the Cougars, and he breaks free to the 25. Another nice run for Terry Johnson. He's going to be close to a first down. Had to get to the 24.
Tired legs on this finish. This guy's been playing both sides of the ball, making big plays on both sides of the ball. Right here, that's just a tired young man. I think they're going to measure for the first down, Drew.
There's the numbers on Johnson tonight. An inspiring effort he has put forth. Talk about a football player. Terry Johnson and Tyler Moore, I'd take those guys in a heartbeat. Let's see. Inches shy.
They've got the big bodies for this situation. This team is built for this situation right here.
And we talk so much about Tyler Moore, but the rest of this Countryside line, they are awesome. Tyler Pearson, the right tackle, 77. Connor Brown, Jeff Albert, Ryan Johnson, the rest of the big boys. You take a look at Pearson. He's 6'4", goes about 275, and a senior. He's going to be playing college football next year. And of course, Tyler Moore will leave in just a few weeks. He's headed to the University of Nebraska. Imagine how cold it is right now in Lincoln, his new home, future home. Third down and inches. Johnson runs into a wall. James Wilder was right there. This is going to be close.
Second effort was just enough, Drew. Spot came out just enough, and that was all because of his second effort.
Let's compare the running backs tonight. This has been a running back game. Terry Johnson, 13 rushes, 71 yards. James Wilder, 21 rushes for $161, and it has been hard running, earning every inch.
You know, they look so familiar in the face. They look similar. They have very similar running styles as well.
Mario Taylor in motion. They go to him, but this is actually going to be a loss as Crow threw it behind him.
Yeah, it's a tough throw for any quarterback. I don't care how good you are. The receiver's running away from you at a direct line away. It's not an easy throw, and they lose a couple yards. Not an egregious thing, only a couple yards on it, but still a very tough type of a play. But they wanted to get the ball outside quick, and if it was on the money, they probably had some pretty good room to pick up some good yardage. Wide split by the receiver down here.
2nd down, 11. Johnson takes a big shot. Oh, Matthew Suarez shot the gap like he was shot out of a cannon.
Well, the times we've called his name have been big-time plays and big-time hits. Again, another one, shooting right through, getting him down low where you need to get number 2. A big 3rd down. 3rd and 13. You're going to take time out to think about it. No, the referees are taking time out as somebody's down. That is Connor Brown.
Connor Brown limping off as this game's so physical here in this 4th quarter. You see it starting to wear a bit on these players. Well, if Plant wins, they will advance to the state semifinals in a likely rematch of that game last year at Dad Stadium where they took down Lakeland. But Countryside, with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, can tie up this football game, but on a 3rd down and 13, they got to make the plays right now.
And they better get the ball off quick because the clock started running. The referee started when they got the injured player off the field.
Greg Crow, a big throw coming up. Sideline, and they say it is incomplete. It looks like the catch was made by Nico Morgado, but I think his elbow was out of bounds.
Yeah, we're on the complete other side of the football field, but from first look, I thought he was out of bounds as well, Drew. It's a good throw. It's a good thought. He gets the sideline. He's got it. But I think it's so quick to the ground. I mean, you'd love to give a high school guy credit for making this incredible catch, but you know that would not be a catch in the NFL with their rules. He caught it clean, but he was so quick to the ground that it's hard to give possession on something like that. Now we go 4th and 12.
Joey Lombardi was open on that last play. Let's see where Crow goes with the football here. 4th down and 12, and a timeout called on the field. Jeff, if you're calling plays right now for the Cougars, what are you looking for?
I'm going back to the middle, and honestly, I think I'd put my tight end because earlier they had A.J. Sattinger a couple times. He was on out moves, and the middle was wide open. And if he made a little out move and went back to the middle, it's kind of what the Buccaneers do with Kellen Winslow. And right now they need something they haven't shown. And the middle is open. I think they can get they've had a lot of cover 2 looks, and that's where you got to go, is down the middle or down the sidelines. I think the sidelines are going to be covered. They're too good outside. The Plant defenders are too good outside. I think some kind of a different move to get to the middle might give them a chance.
The wide receivers, Morgado and Lombardi at the bottom of the screen. Gansey also in the game with Mario Taylor. And Crow is going to lose the football. It's still loose. James Wilder diving after it. And now Deami Roberts comes up with it. Roberts ain't going to get anywhere near first down yardage, and a late flag comes out of bounds here. Let's see if they hit him out of bounds, possibly an unsportsmanlike and an automatic first down. So let's see.
I don't think the flag had to do with the tackle for some reason. Where it came from and what was going on at the time didn't seem to be part of the tackle, but it was certainly extracurricular things going on around the pile.
A face mask called on the Panthers. So on 4th down, this looks like it's going to be an automatic first down and a blessing in disguise for Countryside.
Almost unheard of, that almost the craziest play we've ever seen. And then when you add on top an automatic first down call, so you have the choice between a standard face mask, 5-yarder, and a personal foul face mask. I'd love to see this again, Drew. I don't think it had to do with the tackle. I think it was outside, something else going on in the mayhem, and that's where it was a personal foul. Watch all this stuff going on. Gray Crow tries to get it back. James Wilder almost was able to get that ball up and go with it. Deami Roberts comes around and gets it. Now something else is going on away from the play right now that's away. Or maybe not. Maybe it was right. Yeah, it was right on Deami Roberts.
Oh, wow.
They kind of tackled him by the head.
It was Wilder. This is going to stay, it looks like, a 4th down. The 4th down marker has not changed on the field. So a wild finish here from Plant. As Crow throws it deep. Lombardi was out there, and so was Mario Taylor, but it falls incomplete, and the Plant defense will happily run off the field.
Wow, now that's a crazy turn of events, and because, you know, the ball never changed hands, and so I'm trying to understand the way that penalty worked. It was a live ball foul. You would think that it would have gone back to the original line of scrimmage and then marked off, as you were talking about, the automatic first down. So they took it from, I don't know, they gave him, what, 5 yards and moved it. I need to get an explanation of that from the referees to find out exactly how they marked off that personal foul face mask. They didn't give him 15 yards from the end of the play.
Well, it was 15 yards from the spot of the foul, but it was not.
The spot of the foul was a tackle. We saw it.
Yep.
We saw what it was.
Yep. Now Countryside needs a stop, and Kevin Kinchin able to corral the running back in the backfield. 2 timeouts right now left for the Cougars. Plant has 3, and Countryside will burn their first timeout. Coach Davis wants to stop the clock and gather his troops. What a game we have seen tonight here from Dad Stadium. We've had a little bit of everything. Countryside controlled really the second and third quarters, but Plant went back to their bread and butter, and James Wilder has been the difference.
It sure was. And tops off his high school career. Still got more games to play if they stay triumphant tonight. But boy, what a special night tonight has been for him.
And what a special night tomorrow night is going to be on Bright House Sports Network. Toyota Sports Connection Prep Edition, the debut tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, and now every Saturday from now on. High school sports in a half-hour format is back on Bright House Sports Network. Jeff, when are you coming on the show?
Nice segue there, Felios. Nice segue. Well, you know, as soon as the invite gets put in the mail, usually I follow up.
I'm going to get you and Mark Royals on the show at the same time.
Uh-oh, that sounds like a spinoff.
Debating back and forth.
What, was there a spinoff off of like Friends or Seinfeld? What came off of those?
Second down and 15. Sanders hands it off. Wilder tackled after he got back to the line of scrimmage, and congratulations to the Lakeland Dreadnoughts defeating Fleming Island tonight. And Lakeland will represent Polk County in the 5A state semifinal. But the question is, will it be here at Dad Stadium, or will it be across the bridge at Countryside?
Well, we'll find out. Countryside's going to get another opportunity to win this football, or tie this football game. They're going to get an opportunity to tie the game. It's 3rd and 14, and they have no timeouts left anymore. So they're going to get the ball back with about 1:35 left if Plant doesn't pick up the first down. And, you know, what are they going to do? They're not going to let Nick Sanders throw the pass with 3rd and 14. So they're going to hand it to James Wilder. Can 11 Countryside Cougars bottle up James Wilder on this play and force the punt and get one more shot at it?
Well, Coach Davis has had great help by the Countryside assistant coaches. Raymond Schroeder, Mike Springer, Eric Schmitz, the offensive coordinator. Rick Rose, the running backs coach. At St. Louis, Brian Ney, the wide receivers coach. Derek Smith helps with the defensive backs. Brian Moore, the strength coach we've talked about. And Parker Miles, the defensive line coach. Plant tonight, 2 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. They pitch it to Wilder. And James Wilder will be stopped and contained by these Cougars. So a 4th down and 13 And Countryside will have the football back, but the Cougars have not scored a point in this second half. They'll have one more shot coming up.
Great. Babis pushed a guy off late after the tackle had been made, and I don't blame him as all these guys are jumping on top of his running back, but any kind of outstretched hands after the whistle is over, you're going to be putting yourself in danger of getting a personal foul penalty. So everybody's got to be careful about their hands, their mouths, everything right now, the way they tackle.
Grant Van Amen standing back at the 15-yard line. He'll punt it away to Nico Morgado. And now a timeout called by the Panthers. Coach Wiener wants to talk it over with his team, and Coach Davis will do the same here.
And he really just wanted to get every second off the clock that he could. So it is going to be hurry-up offense style for the Cougars.
Countryside's defense tonight is for 7 3-and-outs by the Panthers. They've kind of done the same thing that Armwood's D did, except Armwood's D did one thing. They were able to contain Wilder the entire night before he went out with an injury. Tonight, Wilder has been able to have his moments against Countryside, and really that has been the difference. Well, next week, the game of the week, same time, same place, here on Bright House Sports Network, the state semifinals. It'll be Lakeland taking on the winner of this game. That's next week, December 10th, 7:30, here on Bright House Sports Network. We wish you the best holiday season possible, and once again, honored to bring you these state playoffs throughout the month of December. So Van Amen back to punt. The rush comes, and this is not going to go very long. It takes a Countryside bounce, and now down at the 47-yard line. So Gray Crow is going to have a short field to work with for these Cougars, but he's got to go all the way for a touchdown.
It's going to take a big throw or two to get this all the way down there. Don't forget the clock stops after first down pickups. It gives them that shot, but they're going to have to be well schooled at what they want to do in the 2-minute drill to get back up on the ball and still get the play off. I don't like when teams come up on first down, they spike the ball a lot to try to stop the clock. I like it if they have it set up where they can make plays and call plays from the sideline and get them in, but a lot of teams do that if they get first down. So take a look and see how they do it.
After only an 18-yard punt, now Gray Crow looking right. Taylor out there. Instead, he goes to his receiver down the field, and Joe Gansey trying to get the ricochet. It fell short. Flag is down back at the 47.
Don't forget that Plant had gotten sideline warnings early in the game after their first touchdown, I think it was. And I don't know what this penalty is, but they're getting a lot of pressure from the sideline. Nope, nothing. We didn't mean to pull that yellow flag out and throw it down on the ground. Have a discussion about it.
Well, right now, Gray Crow only 7 of 18 passing for 70 yards. Statistics don't matter. They're for losers, right? According to Raheem Morris, especially if you can win this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to win the game now. 70 yards passing and you lose is not so great.
Roberts in motion. Crow, nice throw. Lombardi makes the catch. And now the ball comes out. The Panthers have recovered at the 33-yard line.
And, you know, he was still fighting for extra yardage, still trying to fight to get to this end zone. So this definitely had not stopped the play. His momentum had stopped, but he was still fighting. It hadn't been corralled yet. Great, good catch on his back shoulder.
Well, it looked like it was knocked out by Tate Rogers, number 36. Watch him come in right there and strip the ball right out of the arms of Joey Lombardi.
Countryside gets a sideline warning, but it is all she wrote.
Nick Sanders fills in for Philip Ely. And it looks like the Plant offense and Plant team is going to dodge a huge bullet, more like a missile here tonight at home.
Well, as they move forward, Drew, and the game will be here again next week, and Coach has said he's been fighting back issues for 2 years now. We talked about it to start his junior year. Will Philip Ely be able to make it back by next Friday to play Lakeland?
The Plant Panthers, for the 3rd year in a row, going to the state semifinals, and for the 4th time, I would say James Wilder a good choice for a player of the game. But there you see the Panthers, 2 losses and 13 straight games in the postseason. Plant, their three-peat dreams are still alive as Coach Weiner and his Panthers battled adversity here tonight. Looked like it was headed for the upset, but not the case when you're dealing with champions that reside here at Plant.
13 straight wins in the postseason. That is an incredible stat. And what a program Plant has. But Countryside put up a great fight, and they'll be upset again that they lost this game.
James Wilder's going to have a collection of Game of the Week balls, and there you see the final game for Tyler Moore. Great player coming to an end, 21-13. We're back after this.
Well, talk about a game that we had here tonight at Dad Stadium. We have a final. The Plant Panthers over Countryside, 21-13, getting quite a collection as the Bright House Sports Network player of the games. Of course, James Wilder. Now, you were just telling me you've been struggling all week with being sick before coming out here tonight in this cold weather.
Yeah, I've been sick all week. It's been hard to practice, but I knew I had to come out here and do it for the Plant P, and do it for my team. Coach told me I was going to have to suck it up and be a warrior, so that's what I did for my fellow teammates.
James, you definitely were a warrior out here. Talk to me first about Philip Ely going out of the game. I know it's his back right now. It's got to be something that's very hard just to turn the transition into Nick so early in the game.
Yeah, Philip Ely, he's been having trouble all week. He had a back injury. He wanted to come out here and fight hard, but I mean, he just couldn't overcome it. So I mean, the pain came through, and Nick came up, and Nick stepped up as a good teammate and as a good second-string quarterback. He stepped up. Any other team, you wouldn't even be able to tell he's a second-string quarterback.
Well, James, you've really changed this season, playing a lot of offense, and you had an incredible play that changed everything around for you guys. That 45-yard touchdown, now giving the Panthers the opportunity to host Lakeland next week and to hopefully get Philip Ely back out on the field. How important was that play for you guys?
That was very important. We know we had to lead by 1 point, but that kind of sealed the game. We knew that if they did score, they was going to have to go for the 2-point conversion. So Coach told me to protect the ball, so I just protected the ball. My O-line got a good push, a great push. Everybody was blocking downfield, and I just ran down there and scored.
Well, again, congratulations, James. And I want to make a note that you now have 4. You have 1-upped Quentin Williams, who had 3 last week. Take all 4 of those to Florida State with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll have a complete wrap-up of tonight's game with Jeff Carlson and Drew Felios.
Well, you have just witnessed likely the game of the year so far on Bright House Sports Network. 21-13, the Panthers pulled off a stingy Countryside team from Pinellas County. Drew Felios, Jeff Carlson, and Robert Weiner now 21-2 all-time in the playoffs is your record, Coach. But tonight, this was one of the toughest ones.
Yeah, we just had to go 1-0 tonight. That was the only thing we needed to do, and we knew that we were going against one of the toughest opponents in the state of Florida. And all credit goes to, Jared Davis and his staff and all of those players. They had so many weapons all over the place. And then on defense, so physical and so fast. And, so when we got kind of out of sorts there a little bit in the first half when Philip went down, we had to regroup a little bit at halftime. I give our guys credit, though, and it's credit to a couple kids who are leaders who've been there before. There was no panic. There was intellectual discussion of what do we need to do to change this thing in the second half, and they came out and made the plays. So we told our defense that if you hold them right there at 13, that somehow, some way, we'll find a way to put more than 13 on the board. So real proud of our defense and our defensive coaches. They're over on the sideline calling out every play and every formation every time that they line up.
Coach, on the first drive, it looked like you were playing a practice game, the easiest thing you've ever done. Now, it wouldn't have mattered if Philip or Nick was the quarterback on that drive. What changed defensively for them that made it so much tougher even when Nick came in?
Well, I think first of all, you got to give Phillips some credit for a guy who, he could hardly walk with that back this week, and he's like, Coach, I want to give it a try. And did he throw an incomplete in that first drive? I think he was 3 or 4.
3 for 3.
3 for 3, and and he's got such command of the offense. So there's a lot of little things, as as a quarterback. I mean, you talk about a regular handoff where there's little nuances to the handoffs and timing and stuff like that. So a lot of that was in there. They really started slanting heavily to our tight end side, to our strong side, and we had to come back with some counter plays the other way. But that's what got us mostly in the first half was their good scheme and their guys just making plays. It wasn't like we weren't trying to run the same plays that were successful in the first drive.
4 Game of the Week game balls for James Wilder over the years, but tonight, I think it is a record. Tonight, I think he is tied with Javaris McCroy right now from Lakeland, so 2 prime-time players in that role, Coach. But how special was tonight's performance? Great players, I guess, when it matters most, they come through, and that's what he did.
Yeah, well, you can give him the game ball. I'm certainly going to keep giving him the ball in the game. And, the thing about James is, and people see what talent he has and things like that, but it's his intangibles that really set him apart, And he's a guy, he came to me at halftime, he put my arm around me, and he said, Coach, I'm not going to let this team down. There's no way I'll let this team lose. And so we knew when it became crunch time, that's the guy that you got to get the ball into his hands. And he really did a great job. But again, I just turn it back again to our defense, holding them right there at 13, and what a great job they did. They swarmed all night long, gave up a couple big plays in the first half, but unbelievable job against a really, really, really talented team.
Final question for you, Coach. Jeff?
Oh, I just want to say, with Phillip out, or you say he's been battling it all year long, even for 2 years. How does it change your offense for next week? And do you think, has he had issues like that where he's going to be able to come back in 7 days? And if not, how does your offense change with Nick as the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, those are some really hard questions to answer, I mean, obviously we'll have to make some adjustments if he can't, and obviously we're hoping that he can. Nick did a fantastic job, and I couldn't be more proud of him. That's a young man who prepares hard every single day. He's a 4.0 student and a 1400 SAT, so he's a smart kid who can get it fast even without getting a lot of reps. So we're real proud of him, and we know that we can win ball games with him. I mean, we're 2-0 with him, really as the starter, even though he wasn't the starter tonight. But, so we know we can win ball games with him, but we're certainly hoping to get Phillip back. I mean, he's one of the best in the nation.
And final question before we let you go. Lakeland, they take care of Fleming Island tonight. They come here to Dad Stadium next week. You beat them last year at Bryant Stadium. That's fresh on their mind, just like it was fresh on Countryside's mind tonight. What about the Dreadnoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, for sure, it's going to be an unbelievable game and unbelievable atmosphere here, just like it was there last year. And, they're going to bring everything that they got, particularly after we were able to win last year. But, we'll do the best we can and line up and play against them. They're real talented. We're real talented. Obviously, we got to lick our wounds a little bit tonight and get everybody back fresh and healthy because you need all hands on deck against Lakeland. No pun intended with that big boat running around. But they're a great football team, and we'll prepare like heck to get ready for the challenge.
High school football is amazing, isn't it?
It's great. And I told our kids before the game, I said, all the meaning and everything of this game, I said, don't miss out on the joy of it. I said, because there's some joy and excitement of just being a part of something like this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach Weiner, victorious tonight, 21-13, the final score. Coach, good luck next week. All right, Coach Weiner, victorious against the Countryside Cougars, getting the Gatorade bath at the end of the game. Jeff Carlson, a marvelous game. Now, final thoughts from Dad Stadium.
It was really a great game. Just 2 teams battling, and I love both running backs. Obviously, James Wilder almost always gets the better of whoever he's playing against, but Terry Johnson, again, I know he was distraught after the game. Just a great battle, and Plant, it's just hard to beat him because he just keep coming and keep coming.
Yep, and now the wait begins. Lakeland, Plant, next week from right here at Dad Stadium. Our game of the week, 7:30 next Friday night here on Bright House Sports Network. Until then, we hope you have enjoyed this broadcast. For Jeff Carlson, Brooke Bennett down on the field, Bob Herman, our director, Chris McCulley, our producer, Ken O'Leary, production manager, and the entire Bright House Sports Network crew, Plant wins 21-13. I'm Drew Felios. We will see you same time, same place, right here on the Game of the Week.